Welcome to the Panic Button, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Nina, and today we're going to be reacting to men who claim to be lesbian. And I'm reacting to these clips because when you insert gender ideology into an acronym that started with the lesbians and gays, well, then you just eradicate what lesbians and gays are. And you take over their sexuality and you spin it around and turn it into something that is no longer sexuality, but gender-ality, I guess you could say. Makes no sense, right? Also makes no sense why lesbians and gays would still support this horse pucky when they're being completely erased by some very strange individuals. And I'm putting that very nicely. So let's start with our first one, shall we?
I saw my first ever lesbian bar that's trans-exclusionary. Like, they had a sign on the door that said no AMAB people for the safety of others. I thought it was just in memes. I didn't think that was real. Unbelievable opportunity for me. So obviously I went in, and you will never believe what happened. Everyone was very normal and nice. Of course they were. The person who wrote that sign was obviously transphobic, but the people in the bar were great. Of course they were. Trans people and lesbians are like this. But if anyone had said anything, I would have just said, prove that I'm AMAB right now. I'm telling you I'm AFAB, prove that I'm AMAB. How would they check? Are they going to reach in my pants? I'm going to call the cops, but that didn't happen.
First of all, that's exactly what you want. You want them to reach in your pants. Real lesbians are not like this with trans like this. And that's what he was referring to. Not the normal trans people like Buck Angel, Blair White and such, who we're all in acknowledgement of reality. Now, he's talking about men like him and lesbians. He's trying to say that lesbians accept men like him as lesbians and will date them. No, we won't. We never will. And any lesbian who is into this guy is either straight or bisexual. Either way, not a lesbian.
So hopefully next time. I'm just very curious how a lesbian bar would possibly enforce that. Also, if they fell for the anti-trans propaganda, they don't realize that they're coming for them next. That's crazy.
Who's coming for who? What, lesbians are coming after lesbians? I don't think so, no. Maybe the ones who claim the title lesbian. See, here's the difference here. They identify as lesbians, men like this, but they're not lesbians. Because lesbians, just like women, do not have to identify as lesbians or women. We just are. That's the difference. I highly doubt any of this actually happened. Highly doubt he went to a lesbian bar by himself and was greeted kindly and sweetly and nicely if there was a sign on the door saying, "We don't want men in here." Get it? We don't want men in here identify as lesbians. We just don't. No. Stay away. Stay very, very far away. And this use of saying we're transphobic, here's the thing. We don't give a flying fuck. We don't. You can call us anything that you want. We don't care. It's not going to change my mind. Not at all. It's not going to hurt my feelings because I don't care. What I care about is making sure that when someone says they're a lesbian, and not some dude trying to co-opt what lesbian means. Moving on to the next one. Here's a doozy, ladies and gents.
Do you identify as a lesbian?
Yeah.
Okay. You think the hatred comes from men that know that you date women?
Well, I'm saying that there's there's a different kind of glare that happens when there's
transphobia.
Well, there's like transphobia, but a different, which appears very different.
You can witness and see that they're men do treat lesbians.
Yeah, exactly.
In a
That's what I'm
certain
saying
way.
is like the kind of glare that I get that's like a transphobic thing versus the kind of glare that's I'm out with my partner and it's like a cis man that's just anti-woman. It's this very, very.
These people are they're messed up. They're completely in La La Looney Tunes land. You ever seen Cool World? The cartoon land that Brad Pitt gets sucked into? That's kind of what it reminds me of. Just absolute insanity, crazy, bonkers, bananas shit. Psychotic. That's the kind of world that these dudes live in. These are facts. So these guys aren't passing you on the street and giving you the side eye because they're misogynistic and they hate women. They're giving you the side eye because you look fucking weird. Any normal person is going to think the exact same thing. No. We've seen the videos. We've seen what y'all have been doing for the past 15 years, and I already have a preconceived notion of who you are just by looking at you. Now, I'm not saying that all trans people are like this, but the ones who identify as lesbians and gay men when they're clearly not, those are the ones that are worse. Those are the ones that people, we don't like. The ones that push the gender stuff on children and women and try to make them accept them into their spaces, make them say that they're a woman when they're clearly not, trying to control speech, trying to control and change definitions. That kind of stuff, most people in America are not only sick of, but weirded out by. So now, because all of y'all been yapping for the past 15 years and saying this weird stuff, now people, we see, even if you're like a normal trans person, like the two I mentioned before, we're still, and the normies are still gonna look at you walking down the street and be like, ew, I'm sorry, these are the facts. And people like Blair and Buck are trying to flip it around. And it's really hard to do when you have thousands of men like this who are yapping their ass off online. You got like maybe a handful of normal trans, and then you got a shit ton of these. And because these are what everyone sees, they're the loudest, most obnoxious voices, these are the ones people are going to think are everywhere when they see them out in public. So you did yourself a giant disservice. You created not a transphobia, but a creepy man phobia, because they don't even look at you as trans. They just look at you as a weirdo, probably online looking at sexually adult material all the time, and you're sexualizing women and being completely misogynistic while also colonizing womanhood and lesbianism. People are sick of it. We're done. We're fucking done.
Misogynistic bullshit, like very like anti-lesbian, right? And it's like,
No. You see, America's not anti-lesbian. America's not even anti-gay. Like, there might be a small pocket of Republicans who are anti-gay and who are anti-lesbian. But in the past 15 years, me personally, I haven't come across one. My girlfriend has come across one. And guess what kind of person that was? Well, they weren't white, and their first language isn't English. So put two and two together, okay? Most people, majority, they don't give a crap about lesbians and gays. And I'm talking about the real ones, not the ones who are cosplaying as them. He just wants to be a victim. He's up on his trans high horse and lesbian high horse, thinking that he's the shit when really he just is caca.
getting tapped into being like, oh yeah, this is coming from that angle, this is coming from that angle. You know, you start to get frustratingly accustomed to all those different aspects of like aggression and hate. And
just one question. When did you transition?
Just a few years ago.
Okay.
Surprise, surprise. Once again, a chronically online incel couldn't get a date and sexualized women and lesbians and decided to become one so he could be sexualized by men and women. And it's obviously not working out for him. The only people he's going to be dating are people who are within this gender cult. Because I can guarantee you, without a shadow of a doubt, not one single actual lesbian will ever date someone like this, sleep with someone like this, make out with someone like this. It's not happening. Stop cosplaying our sexuality and claiming it is your own by identifying into it. No one is buying the bullshit. Moving on to the next one. Oh, the joy of all joys. The gift that keeps on giving, Nick Tino.
Today we're learning about lesbians. Can you say lesbian? Good job. Here are two lesbians. Miss Chrissy is a cisgender woman. Miss Annie is a transgender woman. But wait, Miss Lily, how can a transgender...
Sorry, guys. I have... my eye is bleeding internally, so I can't wear my contacts. So I actually have to kind of blow this picture up so I can actually see, like, who? Okay, I don't know about this person. Kind of looks like a dude.
Miss Lily.
And this one is definitely a freaking man. We're either dealing with a bisexual, non-binary person and a man, or two men. Yeah.
How can a transgender woman be a lesbian? Great question.
Because he's a man and he is a misogynist who thinks that he knows better and is better than actual lesbians and women. So because of his manness, that inherent man personality, that's why he's doing it. Because most women, majority of women, don't do what these men do, which are tell women what to do, tell them how to think, tell them how to speak, invade their spaces, and tell them, well, if you don't like it, tough, do something about it. That's a man thing.
Let's put on our thinking caps.
Let's put on our retard caps.
Trans and cis are adjectives that modify the noun woman.
Trans means fake. Cis means I'm a retard. I cleared it up.
Just like vanilla and chocolate modify the noun ice cream. They're both still ice cream, just different flavors. The same is true for cis and trans under the umbrella woman. And wouldn't you know, there's a lot of space under this umbrella.
You know who's under the umbrella woman? Buck Angel. Buck Angel is technically under the umbrella woman. Female. He's a trans man, but he's a different form of woman. See how that works? When we're using biology and reality and not cult-like ideology, a form of religion, dogma, there's the difference. Science versus cult.
You can fit trans women and cis women, and no one feels any less comfortable. Time for a pop.
This is a lie, because women do feel uncomfortable. But you know why most of them don't say anything? Because the last thing they want to do is pick a fight with a man, because we all know how that works out now, don't we? Science.
Quiz. The first question says, what do you call a trans woman who only likes women?
If you're a trans woman and you believe in the gender ideology stuff, then if you are a trans woman who likes women, then you also think that men can be women. So if anyone can be a woman, well, then you're either bi or straight or gay. But the one thing you're not is a lesbian, because you're just not. Either way, you ain't a lesbian. That's not how this works.
Know this, they're a lesbian. The second question.
No, they're cosplaying as a lesbian. They have taken the definition and changed it and co-opted it and taken it as their own. That's what they do. And then they call actual lesbians a whole bunch of different slurs that don't even matter. So.
Says, what do you call a trans woman who only likes men? I know this. They're straight. A+. Good job, everyone.
Well, wasn't that a stretch? The one thing I love about him making content is not only do I get to farm his content, but he is making the cult that completely ruined acceptance for gays and lesbians. He's making it worse for the trans gender cult. Now, people like him have knocked us down a peg, because these people who are in the gender ideology cult are claiming to be gays and lesbians. So normal people and Republicans say, well, those gays and lesbians, they're crazy because they think all this stuff that's not even based in science. So we don't like this, so we're not going to support it anymore. But the good thing is they also have seen the flip side, where there are rational gays and lesbians, like myself, who speak out on this and say, hey, guess what? No, these people are crazy, and they don't represent us. They just think they do. All these organizations like GLAAD and Pride, they say they represent us, but they don't. And we are telling you right now that it's horse pucky. It's not real. And so that's why I think might be part of the reason why our acceptance rate hasn't gone down as far as the gender cult trans stuff has. So on to the next one.
Homosexuality is not about who we sleep with. It's a radical way of rethinking our bond and our relationship with others.
Hold on. So you're saying that homosexuality, sex is in the word, has nothing to do with the sex of the person you date? I think if you listen to this woman, you will become more retarded.
The philosopher Michel Foucault wrote about it.
Oh, Michel Foucault. If you've ever looked up stuff about Michel Foucault, you will not like who he is because he's got some skeletons in his closet.
His text about friendship, that it's not only about intimacy, but it's also a way of rethinking the way the society is organized. It's also revolutionary in a way. I love this idea that friendship is political
It's predatory in a way, actually.
and in a world obsessed with family, fighting for friendship is a way of developing our empathy. Friendship is one of the most important things in my life, and I think we need to make space for people who...
But how does she identify friendship? Is friendship when you just like see someone on the street and say hello? Or is it something like, you know, you actually have bonds? Like they change the definitions of everything, so I don't know what is up and what is down.
who don't want to organize their life on the idea of family. More and more people want to build other kind of lives, and we need to acknowledge that and to find a way to give them rights.
Nobody needs to do anything for anybody. What you do is you do things like the gay... Okay, I'm going to get off of that. You do what the gays and lesbians did. We said, guess what? We just want the same rights straight people have. But we're not going to push it on anybody. We're not going to have you be like, you have to accept our gay relationship or our lesbian relationship or your bigots. No, we weren't doing that. We're just like, don't bully us in public. Okay? If I hold hands with my girlfriend, you know, don't try to say shit to my face and ruin my day. Don't, like, mock me and bully me and stuff. I dealt with that in high school, man. Grow up. That's what we're saying. We're not going to do shit to you. Don't do shit to us. We're not going to be making out in public just to gross you out or to make you uncomfortable. We're not doing that. No, we just want the same rights, and that's it. But pride and glad, we're like, oh my God, they got their rights. Now what are we going to do? We got to push for the crazy stuff now. And now those organizations, they're looked at as part of the cult. They're not looked at as organizations that are respectable, truthful, honest, and doing a good thing. They're actually tearing down the groups that they claim to fight so hard for. So there's that. Moving on. So lesbians, if you believe in the gender ideology, I will say this. You are going to end up being shamed for not dating this fella, this guy right here. You're going to be shamed into not dating this. So feminine, right? Look at the jowls. Lovely, right? And you will also be shamed into dating men like this. Sexy, right? So sexy. Definitely screams lesbian. Yes. If you're on board with this gender ideology stuff, expect these men to be pushed on you. And there's nothing you can say about it. You either have to accept them wholeheartedly, embrace them fully as part of people that you would date, or they're going to bully you into smithereens. So my suggestion is get out of the cult, wake up, or you're going to be eventually forced to date these people, or you're going to be shamed into oblivion if you're not considering them lesbians or part of your dating group. You see what I'm saying? Get it? Got it? Good. So anyway, like and subscribe, join our memberships to keep this channel going. Comment below, hype up this video if you're on your phone, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.